Hello and welcome to another episode of Change Maker Supermom Stories. And today, as we record this podcast, we are on 11/11/2025. This is a space where we speak to powerful, purposeful, and purpose led mothers who are raising not just powerful mothers, but also they are impacting their children as well. They are creating awareness, building energies, and making change in their ways in their communities. So today's guest is someone who is transforming lives of women in relation to money, not just as a number, but as an energy. Please join me in welcoming Shweta Goyal, founder of Her Wealth Circle. She is a certified financial planner. She holds an MBA in finance. And what I love most is she calls herself Money Energy Coach. Amazing. Her mission is to empower women to heal their relationship with money and step into their financial power with ease and joy. And for Shweta, it's not just about money, it's about meaning that she adds to others' life. She finds deep joy in helping women release financial guilt, build confidence, and raise money awareness in children as well. That is so important in today's scenario. Shweta also believes in the power of journaling, soulful walks in nature, and heartfelt conversations that shift inner patterns. Wow. So today, we are going beyond budgets and bank accounts. We are going to explore money as a mirror, as a mindset, and as a movement towards emotional freedom. So, without further ado, let's dive in. So, Shweta, welcome to the podcast. And would you like to add anything else to your introduction that we don't know? Would you like to? And congratulations for your Hall of Fame award also.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have already elaborated quite nicely. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, my pleasure, and thank you, Shweta, for taking out your time and doing this for us. And we are privileged to have you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure to be here.
So, may I have the permission to shoot the first question to you?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So Shweta, tell me, what does money energy really mean, and how does it affect the way we earn, spend, and save?
Yes. So money energy is nothing but how you feel, how you think and act about money. So many a times we are just focused on earning money. From childhood, most of us are raised in a way where the main focus is how to earn more. Even investing also don't come in the picture. That is another part. But the main thing is how we think, how we feel. Nobody talk about it. And that is actually the money energy that you are bringing in everyday basis. It is not just seeing the bank balance, but obviously your thinking, feeling will reflect in bank balance. And the easiest way to check your money energy is just to check your bank balance. For most of us, if it is not what we expect, our bank balance, it is low, then like this is the proof कि how is your money energy. So if you're not happy with the result, then you need to check on inner self. How I think about money, how is my talk with money. And one more step I would add it is how you think about yourself. So money energy is basically your own energy. How on a surface level you can think how you think, feel, and act around money. But at a deeper level, if you go like little deeper, it is mostly about how you think, feel about yourself. So your own energy reflects as a money energy. So on a surface level, I talk and work on a money level, but on a deeper level, core level, it is your own energy. If you think about yourself as a person with high standard, high energy, and you just love the person you see in the mirror, then definitely your money energy is very high.
This is such a powerful insight, Shweta. Generally, who are not aware about this energy concept, think that the more you work, more you hard work, more you rush things outside your money question. like you said, that is how we are raised from bachpan se, like, so it is, so that's a powerful insight what you're saying. The more you love yourself, who you see in the mirror, the more your energy grows. That's a powerful statement. Thanks for sharing that, Shweta.
Yes, and there is one more thing I will add here.
Yes.
So money, I want everyone to consider like a game.
Hmm.
So there are two sides of a game. One is the outer game, inner game. So outer game also we are focused mostly on the one aspect, earning more. That is just one part of one side of game.
Yes.
Not one side of a game. It's a part of one side of a game.
Yes.
So outer game is like how much are you earning,
Yeah.
how you are managing, how you are investing, how you are taking care of the money, like tracking everything like that is dealing with the money directly. So that is the outer game of money. So there is at the same time the inner game of money that I call the money energy. So think of money in a broader sense, like when we talk about money energy, it is not like some magic. Many people feel like, okay, we'll learn some magic tips and tricks. It's a very deep work about ourselves, healing our relationship with money. And for most of women, I feel it is much needed because we are conditioned in a way from generations. Most of the women I find they are too scared to invest. There are so much resistance just in learning about finance.
Yes.
And I feel most of the women have such a power. We are such a creative person. We never, matlab, we can adjust in another family in just one day. We leave our parents, adjust accordingly. And then, like, when we become mothers, we never had any experience. But most of us do is very beautifully. We handle everything. But when it comes to money, most of us just get fear. It's not for me. I can't handle. I can't even learn. Maybe my husband will manage, my father will manage. Why to think about it?
Yeah.
And I know for sure it's not just this generation's conditioning. It is like the generation pattern of the past.
Yes.
So it's like inbuilt in our DNA. Just by talking about finance, a lot of women get so much anxiety. What if I make mistake? When we are raising a kid, we don't think, how will I raise a kid?
Yeah.
Nobody questions. When you are cooking, do you know or you what will happen if you like burn a roti? Right? We still do the experiment. But in finance, a lot of us like taking a first step is a challenge. So that is why I initially I started with just teaching finance, investment, but I realized very soon, okay, this is not going to help much unless you work with your relationship with the money. So I want each and every woman, whoever is listening, just build a relationship with money and feel like, yes, I can do it. Maybe up until now I didn't had the knowledge, but now I'll find someone who can guide me, support me, and I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to pass this thing to my next generation. It ends here with me. I'm going to shift it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And no other person than you, I can vouch for you, Shweta. And for people, mothers who are watching, I am in Shweta's community, her wealth circle, and I can vouch for her trustworthiness and the way she's creating impact. It is not a small mission she's on, and what all the facade or the myths and the stories we have built inside us because of the way we have been risen and because of the society. Women need clarity in their finances, and no other better person than Shweta. And so, moving on to the next question, Shweta, what are the most common money blocks or limiting beliefs that hold women back from financial freedom?
The first one I would say is money is not so important. Money is not everything. A lot of us say. But if you see, money is like a blood of our life. If you just remove money from your life, how your life is going to be. For everything in your day to day, you need money for your from your food, from your house, to sending your kids to school, for anything and every experience of your life, money is required. But somewhere we are labeled as like maybe greedy or not so good women if we are talking more about money. That generally most of the women say, okay, relationship is important, this is important, that is important, money is not so important. Even when women start working, even that was one of my most negative belief when I started working was,
Same here, same here.
yeah, money is not so important. My work is important, the value I will give to the people is important. Money is not so important. If I'm liking the work, I will do it. But let me tell you, this is the biggest myth. If
Yes.
you really want to live your purpose, give the value to the people, you need to give respect to the money. Money is a sacred energy. It's a neutral energy. It is your own energy. If you respect money, if you work for money, it will work for you. And a lot of time we say money is not important, yet our dreams and desires are huge. We want to do everything. And how you are going to do it?
Yes.
The money through which you will be doing. And again, you are saying it's not important. A lot of time we say, okay, relationship is just consider it in a way like with your spouse. If most of you who are married watching, if you say to your spouse, you are not important, you are not important enough, how will you feel? Or if your spouse says to you, you are not important, how will you feel?
Yeah.
How much will you be able to be in that relationship? Even if you will be in that relationship, will you be from the joy or will you be at your best? No, no. Similarly, if we are saying to the money, you are not important, you are not important, everything else is important. Again, you are not living to your highest potential. When you are at your highest, I'm not saying that only you have to earn it. Even for the homemakers, this concept applies because your work is taking care of the family, taking care of that is a big work. And most of us, even I was a homemaker for 12 years, I also didn't give that importance to me. Right. So money energy is not only when you are earning. Earning is just one part. You are attracting. We all are feminine energy. We have the divine feminine. So even as a homemaker, money needs to be felt important to you. You also feel happy receiving money. A lot of homemaker I see, they feel very bad asking for the money when they are receiving. So as a homemaker, you should feel very divinely. Yes, I am like at my divine feminine. People are here to provide for me. I am taken care of. So it's life is just feelings. If you're not operating from the highest feeling, you are not living your life. And one thing that really now irritate me when I was that person is most of us wants to, our ultimate aim is to be happy and peaceful.
Correct.
And I always feel like it's an ultimate aim. Then what is that you are doing in your life? If ultimate aim you are striving is peace and happiness, today what you are doing? That is the state of being. Happiness and peace is a state of being and operating and living your life through it.
Yes. Yes.
And second most important, I feel is money is not everything. If I focus on money, I lose on the relationship. I don't know much about money. I can't manage my money. If I try to earn money, if I don't earn, I'll prove like a failure. What is the benefit if I strive for money? I lose the relationship. So many things are there, and none of it is true.
So yeah, coming to that, what you said that yeah, most of us like how we are brought up like don't go behind, especially women. Like don't
Yes.
go after money, don't be greedy. Money is not everything, and like the famous dialogue, money doesn't go on tree.
Yes, it's a hard word. Yeah, that is one major thing.
Yeah.
And if you're operating from that belief, money is not important, money doesn't grow on trees, it's hard work.
Yes.
If that is your core belief, you can see that is running your life today also.
Yes.
Every time, for even if you are a homemaker, you will be finding it very hard to receive from your family. If you are working women, you will find it very hard to earn money also or to save or invest.
Yes, and the two things I want to highlight what you've mentioned is the one thing is beautiful point you have put that about homemakers. What you pointed out that you don't have to go out to earn like the money. Even as a homemaker, when you're receiving, and when you take the put the story that you are the provider, you are sitting and attracting that energy from wherever you are, and have that happiness within that you are receiving, and you're being able to generate money from where you are. That is the energy part. And the second
Yes.
one, what you said was in the previous talk when you did, you said that internally energy should be like the happiness and all. We have to work towards that. That is the feminine energy. And also you said the masculine energy also, like keeping track of your expenses, keeping track of the money that comes in, and on a daily or a weekly basis, recording everything. So, can we say that it should be a balance of the both feminine and masculine energy to raise the money energy?
Yes, definitely. So actually, every human beings has two parts, masculine and feminine. Even as a woman, we have a masculinity and femininity. Even as a male also have a side of feminine. Feminine is nothing but creation.
Yes.
Most of the creation, attraction,
Yes.
right? So we all have. So as a feminine, our base energy or the main energy will be of attraction.
Yes.
not rushing. Because as a woman, we can't, like, if you try very hard earning money or doing anything, you will feel burnout. You will not be able to enjoy that life, being present in that moment.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So even some part of masculinity is also important. Earning money is also now I feel very important. But the thing is not beating yourself around if you are not, you don't have to compete with the men.
Mm.
Okay, if they are working 10 hours, I also need to work 10 hours.
Mm.
You can even do the same work in 6 hours.
Mm.
Respect that. Why you want to prove? And a lot of us who are in job, we want to prove we are better than men. You don't need to prove yourself you are better than them or not better. Just be in your energy, accept yourself, accept your good qualities, and accept your femininity. Okay, yes, you can attract it. Don't make the judgment about yourself about the amount or the money you are receiving.
Right, right. So, also, Shweta, here, mothers who are watching, how can moms start building confidence with money, even even if they have never handled finances before? Can you please put light on this?
Yes, yes, definitely. So first thing that I would say is start tracking your money expenses.
Mm, mm,
And I feel every spouse, their spouse, even though they may not be supporting in investing, they will definitely support you in managing money. A
mm,
lot of male feel like as a woman, you can't handle money, you can't track.
yes,
They will be super happy if you can track the money. They will be super happy, super supportive. And lot of time women say ki, my husband will not support in investment, he will not do this and that. Just start tracking expenses for 3 months.
mm,
Every rupee that is going and track with the joy, not with the scarcity. Come from a place, I need to be aware of my money. If
mm,
money is important, you need to be aware of it.
mm, mm,
So when
mm,
you build better awareness, you can make better choices. That
mm,
is the starting point, I feel. So start
mm,
tracking where your money is going, from where it is coming. Start tracking, use, there are multiple apps. Even you can use the Excel sheet. If you're not familiar with the tools, technology, even the apps, you can start recording in the notebook.
mm,
Anything works.
mm,
Just do it without complaint and keep on having the conversation with your partner.
mm, mm,
Or don't blame, don't complain, just normal conversation. And start by having discussing your goals.
mm,
What financial freedom looks like to me, how much money on a monthly basis I would be having to have that financial freedom. We will
mm,
be feeling like, okay, our life, like if I'm getting 50,000 per month, I can feel like I'm financially free.
mm,
So start talking about, start having money conversation, even with your kids, with your
mm,
spouse. Make money very normal in
mm,
house.
mm,
Make money conversation like any other conversation. We feel like bringing money conversation too difficult. How
yes,
can I ask? Suddenly my spouse will think, "Okay, what happened to her? Why she's asking about investment?"
yes,
So your curiosity and whatever is they are doing, just see their bank account, bank balance, start operating your own bank account, your own investment account. Maybe for now, your husband may be doing investment for you.
mm, mm,
But now take a lead, at least see
mm,
what's happening. Start building that awareness, how much you are saving, how much you are investing, currently where your investments are. So
yes,
that is the first step, first building the awareness from where the money is coming from, where it is going, and how we are saving and investing. The second step comes is having the clarity about future. What
mm,
are my financial goal?
mm,
Let's say if you are having kids, do you want to save for their higher education?
mm,
Do you want to save for their financial freedom?
mm,
Do you want to buy a car, a house, some jewelry? It could be a vacation goal, like you want to go on a foreign travel.
mm, mm,
So anything and everything, what is that? Like make it clear.
mm,
So many times we are having the vague goals. We want to do 100 things, but we are not clear.
mm,
Make them the smart goal. Like give them the name, exact name. Okay, it's for my son's education, graduation, post graduation, or if you're planning a business, for business, this much money we will be requiring.
mm,
That is the first step. Don't feel like today you are having the resources or not.
right,
First, build the clarity what is you are expecting from your life.
mm,
Many times we don't even intend. We fear, if I'll plan, if I'm not having enough, I'll feel again like a failure. So a lot of people even don't want to do the goal planning.
yes,
So in life or in finances, until you are doing goal planning, it's very, very tough to be successful.
true, true, true,
So first do the goal planning, take the help of the professional. Now there are multiple professional. I'm a certified financial planner. Or apart from there, also there are multiple personal financial professional who are there who can guide you. Take the step, ask for the help.
mm, mm,
First have the conversation, ask for the help, and then how much ever you are having the excess, start investing that.
mm,
Maybe create whatever, let's say you have created the list of 10 goals. Now give the priority. What is the number one priority? Is it your child's education, your financial freedom, a
Mm,
house, a car? Prioritize them. And
mm,
based on the fund, then map, okay, for what goal, how much you will be investing. So go like that. And slowly you will build that confidence.
yes. And it's so important, Shweta, what you said, like, building awareness is the first stage, and bring money conversation within the family, not like, what you're giving, because money is one of the main reasons I feel fights happen between couples. So,
Yes, even I will tell from my life. Even earlier, I was a homemaker, and I was having a lot of expectation from my husband. He should provide a good house, good luxurious car, good luxurious designer clothes, every travel and everything he should be funding,
hmm,
right?
hmm,
And we should have everything for our future, for present and everything. Like kid should go in a foreign school, like IGCSE and IB. I was knowing how much he's earning, but my expectation again, we should be able to do everything. And we never sat down, we never created goal. A lot of time the fight was happening because of the not having the awareness, how much exactly we are earning, how much exactly we are spending.
hmm,
So there was a huge gap. I used to think my expenses are just 40,000, 50,000.
hmm,
He's earning, let's say, 2 lakh.
hmm, hmm,
So we are having a lot of money. But
hmm,
the reality was the money that was getting saved was not even 50,000.
hmm,
Where that 1 lakh was going, even I was not aware. So once I started tracking the expenses, I that was the major bulb on. Like I think 2 years before I started tracking consciously. Earlier also I was doing, but I was not analyzing. It
hmm.
was just a thinking. Sometimes some expenses I'm recording, some are just like okay,
Right.
not getting tracked. But like diligently, I started 2 years back. Since then, even I could see okay, my expenses are not 50, it's 150, right? So you also build that awareness, and then when you and goal setting is one of the most beautiful tasks we have done. So
Hmm,
I got the clarity, okay, we are having only this much fund.
hmm,
What is my priority? And completely from my side, I stopped talking about foreign vacation, car. From last 2 years, my husband is saying, okay, our car is almost 12, 13-year old. Initially, I was so much cribbling, yeah, let's upgrade all of our, in our circle, most of the friends have upgraded to big cars. I was cribbling, but now he wants to upgrade and I'm holding. No, no, first we have to start saving for the younger one. Until we are doing these, we are for now doing for financial freedom and for elder one's education. So whatever is saving is not sufficient for the younger one.
hmm.
So we have planned until we are doing starting investment for him, we are not going to go for foreign vacation or like the car upgradation. All thing will happen once we have the buffer to pay for the EMI after doing at least these three main goals.
Yeah,
So a lot of clarity will come in the family when you are having harmony.
yeah,
There will not be this false exemption that my husband will do everything,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now he is at peace,
I
and
can.
even I am at peace.
Thank you for sharing this beautiful story. And this happens in every family. Some speak about it, some don't. In every family, in my family too, it happens. But the moment the bulbon is, that is what you share. The moment that awareness comes, and then there is clarity on goals. So you work towards as a family. So you
Yes.
become educated, and you raise children who are, financially aware, like what is the meaning of saving, what is investment, because your quality of your conversation between you both as partners is so different. That is
Yes,
what they pick up.
and the main thing now, like from last 2 year, I have also included my son. Whenever
Mm,
I'm trekking, I'm also talking and I'm showing him. It's not like I'm asking him to do anything. I have also started giving him pocket money.
right.
So he know when he listen in the sessions, they have the extra ears, whatever we are saying, or whatever we are doing.
Yeah,
If our action are matching whatever we are saying, they do follow. They are observing
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah.
I was talking jar even I started with just 200 rupees as a pocket money. So he will save 40 rupees at least from that. 160 rupees he will spend on chips and all those things. Earlier it was a big headache. He will every day ask for chips, chocolate, this and that. So now I say you have 200 rupees, whatever in the month you want to buy, chips, chocolate, the junk, it is for that. You
Correct.
buy how
That-
much ever and whenever you want to buy.
that's so beautiful. That is how they learn, like, to save. And yeah, that's what.
Yes,
And
and the beauty was that even he saved all the money, most of the money.
huh,
He didn't spend. And once he wanted to buy one book or basketball, I don't remember exactly. And he was having that sufficient money, around 600. Its cost was around
huh.
600, and he was having that money. So
Wow.
I asked him, okay, you can use if you want. I'll order for you. You pay from your money. So he said, "Ki, Mama, I can't do this month. No, I also have to take aside 20%. No, next month only I would be able to do."
Beautiful.
And actually, that was one of the proudest moment for
Course.
me as a
Yes.
mom.
Yes.
My son, even I was saying, okay, you are having that money, you can buy. And
Yeah.
he said, 20%, so I have to save. No, how can I buy? So,
That is so when you're sharing this, I resonate with my daughter who is a college going, so we also give her some pocket money. So in this some app she's using, the Google Family app. So yeah. So once I was aware about savings, the jar system and all, I used to keep on telling him, whenever you're getting, first put in savings. So one fine day she is saying, now she has put 5% or whatever amount she's put in some gold thing. Okay, so gold thing. So when we are talking about the gold rate going up and down, she's also, oh, my gold is come up, gold is come down. So when I was her age, I was not talking all that. So it is, I can clearly see where you're coming from and what impact you're making in this world and your family, beginning with your family.
yes, and also like I do investment for his education and all of those things. Whenever he is getting big amount, like on festival, we generally give to the kids. So I'll invest in his account separately.
Yes.
And I saw him on a month-on-month basis, and he feels so much happy. Oh, my money is growing, my money is growing. And that is how actually from childhood we build their relationship. Rather than saying कि earning money is too hard,
Yes.
you have to struggle. Just show them कि yeah, by simple step they can create a lot of money.
And
They
that
will
is,
be having this beautiful and joyful relationship with money. That is what I feel is
absolutely, absolutely. And that is how you raise your energy when it comes to money. So coming back to the women, Shweta, can you give us some points or tips how to, develop a healthy, a positive or a healing oneself's relationship with money?
okay. So that's actually powerful one. First thing I would say, there are few practices that if in your life you can inculcate, they will instantly shift your energy about money. So maybe today your financial situation may not be exactly how you want it to be. You may be coming from the scarcity mindset. So if that is the situation, first thing is whenever money is give the importance to the money. Start saying money is important. Acknowledge it. Until you acknowledge it, there will be always be a tussle. So acknowledge money is important. Second thing, whenever anybody is giving you money, even if you are a homemaker, your husband is giving the money. If you are in a job, your company is giving you the money. Be very thankful to them. Don't be ungrateful to the husband, father, or brother, or anybody. Receive with happiness, joy, and gratitude. So a lot of time I see even people, they are in a job, they will cribble ki I'm not getting whatever I am worth it. Still they will be in that job.
Yes.
They will not leave. So first point, from where you are receiving, be ultimately grateful for that. Be it your family member, be it your company, where, or if you are in a business, your clients. Don't cribble about ki how bad this client is, that client is. They are giving you money. That is your source of receiving. Ultimately, be super grateful for them. Start writing money gratitude. Every day, 5 to 10 gratitude. What money has given you from childhood, also from this life. Be grateful for money. Second thing, whenever you are spending money, give it with joy. Don't give it, this person has taken my money. Now I'm having less. Come from my space. Just see the value what this money has given you. Nobody just throws the money away. Whenever you are getting some value, you will be paying. So be grateful for the money that you are paying. So gratitude is the main thing. If you can implement in your life, being grateful for the money, being grateful from the source, being grateful wherever you are giving the money for whatever is that you are receiving in place of money. And third most important is creating the flow of money. You start giving to somebody, donate some money, create a flow of money. Money is the energy that doesn't like to be held too tightly. If you try to hold it too tightly, it will find its own ways, mostly negative ways to get out of your hold. So create a positive flow on your own that will bring more abundance. And whenever you are giving, give with joy and happiness. It could be a very simple cause like funding a child's education or just giving some 100, 2,000, 1,000. Do it on a regular basis. You start giving to anybody. So these three things, if you implement, your money energy will start slowly shifting. And then ultimately, you have to see about this when you are really having money, like working on your money energy to do the work that you love to do. Start attracting more money, feeling more valuable.
Hmm.
And learning about investment also raises your energy because now your relationship is becoming stronger.
Stronger.
And also feeling like it's not many times it's not about doing everything on your own. It's about being resourceful. See
Hmm.
who can help you in understanding and investing and raising your money energy. Start taking help. Be resourceful. Don't come from the scarcity mindset कि everything I have to do. And many a times we come from that mindset कि only I will learn and then I will do. And after 5 years also you will be at the same point.
Hmm.
You would not be starting. So starting, take the help. And along the way, you will learn. Start doing, don't delay.
Absolutely. And no other person, again, I will tell you, as good as Shweta Goyal. She's a money coach, financial planner. And if you have any issues, she's the best person as a woman. We are somewhere, I was there, plank zero. And Shweta will explain to you patiently, making you understand. You will not feel like, Arey, I don't know anything. What will she think about it? Please get in touch with her. I will, of course, put her link to page where, and she'll be more than happy to guide you. And coming back to the next question, Shweta.
And I would just add one thing, just be willing and curious to learn. You will find automatically the ways and the people.
That's true. That's true. When there is willingness, you will definitely find people who are more than happy to help you, right, Shweta?
Yes.
So, Shweta, how can emotions like guilt, fear, or shame impact our financial decisions? And how do we shift that energy also?
Okay, so that is a very powerful question.
Especially for
Our,
women.
yes, actually, our whole life is run by the core emotions of ours. So when it comes from the money, if your core emotion, so there are different exercises that we do to understand what is your core emotion with money. So I think we can't do that, but just understanding from where you are coming from. So I'll give just an example. Let's say if you are earning, ask why am I earning? What it is giving me?
Hmm.
If you feel like if the need of earning money or doing anything about money is coming from the negative emotion, maybe proving ourselves, that was one major thing with me. I'll prove to my father, I'll prove to the society that I am worthy. If
Hmm.
it's coming from the emotion that is not the positive or empowering one, or if it is anger, for many of us it is anger, we are angry on our father, on our spouse,
Hmm.
or anybody.
Hmm.
If it comes from anger,
Hmm.
or if it comes from fear, what if I don't have money tomorrow?
Hmm.
If I don't earn, what will happen? If I don't invest, what will happen? If your core emotions are fear, insecurity, anger, proving yourself,
Hmm.
your money energy is very low.
Hmm.
Okay. And in your life, you will find ways in the pattern where you're operating from the similar emotion.
Right.
So let's say your relationship with money is like anger.
Hmm.
So anytime if more money is coming to you, it will give you more anger. If it is coming from the insecurity, more money will bring more insecurity. So just if you are like you feel okay, more money will make me secure, it is never going to happen. There may be the things that may shift. Like earlier, it will be if I don't have enough, what will my children eat? Simple, like basic one.
Right.
Then it could turn like if I have more, if someone kidnap my kid, what will happen?
Hmm.
If I have more money, someone may kidnap, something negative can happen. I may attract different people who want to take advantage of me, and you will.
Yeah.
And our life is run on our emotion and subconscious. Whatever your true core emotion with money is, your subconscious operate on that pattern. You feel like I'm taking conscious decision about it,
Yes.
but 90% of the time your decisions are subconscious and running on your on those scripts and on those emotions.
Absolutely.
So until you heal that relationship, until you find your core emotion, and it is about just changing the story.
Changing.
All things are a story. Our beliefs are our stories. All the things are our stories. So now just understand, create the awareness from where it is coming, what is my core emotion, and then shift your belief by giving it new story. Ultimately, you have to give new story, and just believe the belief. If it is not serving me, I have in the present moment the choice to change it or choose different belief.
Hmm.
Don't always have the need to be right.
Hmm. Hmm.
With the belief, we are too much attached that this is only right. If I believe in it, I am right, proving to be right. So release the need to be right.
Hmm.
Just think of being rich, release the negative emotions, give yourself new stories.
Yes.
Why and create attach it with the positive emotion. Work on your purpose of money. Why you need money now? That one exercise is very powerful. List down your 8 to 10 purpose for money. If you are having everything, all the money in the world, what will you do? Now create a story around that future vision, future purpose that will help you create new belief, reframing the past, and reconditioning the new beliefs around it.
Beautiful, beautiful, Shweta. Thanks for sharing. This is powerful. First of all, just to put it in a small summary, what I gathered is, first of all, be aware of what is your emotion with money, and as soon as you catch it, think where you want to shift it, and then create what you're going to do. That is the bridge to create a beautiful relationship with money, and make a list of all the desires. What are you going to do with once the money will come? And that is how you build a new relationship with money.
And also one thing I find it even it was with me as a woman. Now we fear to have desires. Our feminine energy is of desires. Feminine energy is desires, creation, and everything, right? And like, because the word has labeled desired as
Bad.
greedy, bad. You
Especially
are, yeah, even now we don't feel like having desires worth it. So as an exercise, I want all of you to list your 100 desires. Only writing that will shift your energy. And also feel happy about what you are desiring. It doesn't mean don't attach too much. If let's say you are desiring something, it should happen now only. It will happen. First, open your portals of possible desires. Are like, one of my mentor told me, desires are your portal of possibilities. If you are not desiring, you are closing it.
Yeah.
You're closing your manifestation. You are closing your energy. Just desire more. Well, ultimately, you will be living fully when you are desiring more and more in your life.
So mothers and audience, even fathers who are watching, please, I know as life goes on, we just bury our desires one after the other because of the life challenges. This is a very powerful exercise which Shweta has told. Please, after this, whenever you get a chance, make a list of 100 desires, and you never know what portal are you opening. And today is a very good day also, 11/11.
Yes.
So you can do that. Great, great, Shweta. Thanks for sharing that. So, Shweta, what does financial freedom truly mean for a woman according to you, beyond just having money? Can you throw light on that?
The financial freedom first is knowing what it means to you. Many a times we all will have different definition, but the basic definition I say it, having the passive income to pay for your desired lifestyle. So that is first level of financial freedom. We all need it. It's not like if my husband is providing, I don't need that money. Because life is uncertain. I don't know tomorrow I will be there or somebody who is supporting me will be there. We take it for granted. Okay, everything will be same. But that is non-negotiable. Having whatever level of lifestyle you want, having that income in passive is important. And second level of financial freedom is doing what you love. Don't think about having all kind of choices, having the time freedom, having the money freedom, and it all comes when you are having that base level of financial freedom. When you are not worried about who will pay for my rent, who will pay for my kids' education, or this or that, whatever it is. If you are free from like whatever daily expenses you are having, you can create a different level of life, the true rich life that I call. And that only, and financial freedom, that base level of passive income is the first step to be able to reach that true potential of yourself. That is a non-negotiable. So first work on having that passive income every month, create that fund, create that golden goose, I call it, create that golden goose for yourself that can give you the golden eggs for the rest of your life, so that you are not worried about who will take care of my expenses. As a woman or as a family, then you can work toward what gives you joy. And that is where our soul's purpose also lives. In what we truly love doing. Start doing it, and then there is unlimited possibilities. You will only explore it.
Absolutely, Shweta. Thanks for sharing that. And for one last question, for women who want to start investing but feel scared, what's the easiest, safest way to begin, Shweta?
Start a SIP. Is in mutual fund. Mutual fund is actually one of the most beautiful product that is available in the market. You do not do if you really want to earn or have passive income or have your investment multiplies with peacefully without having yes, and in equity mutual fund, you are basically investing in the companies that are going to create this economy from the developing economy to the developed economy. So invest in there, because if you are just holding back to the FD, gold, have some proportion there, but diversify. Start investing in equity, mutual funds. And here, actually, your money is working for you. You are taking part in the businesses. That is the best passive income source you can create. Now, let's say you have invested 1 lakh, or you're investing 1 lakh through SIP or 1,000 for SIP. Your money is working for you here. You are not directly working here. So either start on your own or take help from somebody who can do it for you, even if now there is so much hesitation, fear. Take help. Don't fear of asking. Ask, take help. There are a lot of people who are ready to help. So start doing, and when you start doing, you will start to see, you will experience, then slowly you will also start gaining the knowledge. Hold somebody's hand and walk the path. And I just shared this one thing. A lot of women say, okay, first I need to earn. First I need to learn or earn. Then only I will be starting to do. So don't block yourself, whatever as a homemaker also you are receiving. Just whatever money is coming from anywhere, start investing 10% of that amount. Just make this 10% rule. Whatever money is coming in, minimum 10% I am going to put in investment. Take help.
That's a beautiful thing. And can you tell what can be a minimum amount to begin? As low as possible. What is the minimum amount?
Minimum amount is 500 rupees SIP. 500 rupees per month you can invest.
Of course, everybody can do that,
Yes.
Homemaker, a working woman, whatever she's dealing with, begin with the small amount.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, that is also one myth. Now I have stopped. Earlier, I was saying begin with the smallest amount, begin with 500, begin with 1,000. And I was seeing a lot of women are sticking to that amount. Okay, I don't understand it.
Okay.
So do not begin with the smallest amount possible. Begin with the smallest amount that you can do. So for someone, it could be 500. For someone, it could be 5,000. For someone, it could be 5 lakh. So start with the minimum amount that you can easily save every month.
Yeah.
And start doing that. So minimum amount don't mean ke 500,000, because let's say you can invest 5 lakh, you are experimenting with 5,000, you will never build confidence. You will never ever, even if 10 years will pass, you will be sticking to the same 500 or 5,000.
Yes.
So once it is aligned with your savings, then only you will really be interested in learning. If it is very low amount also, you will never find time or never find that willingness to learn. So it should be a proportion that gives you, that you can do. Like, let's say if you are saving 10,000 per month, at least invest 50% of it in equity. Then only you will see some worth. Then only you will get some curiosity. If you are investing just 1% or 10% of it, of your savings, again, you will not find willingness to learn more.
Exactly. Got it, Shweta. Yeah. And what Shweta is saying, like, just go ahead and do it. Like, learn. And there are people who will teach you, hold your hands, guide you. It's not like before that, people, there are coaches like Shweta Goyal who will guide you, not putting you down, but seeing what you are, because she knows how it is where you are there. She has been there and now she is in another level, and she will happily help you in whatever way you want. Please get in touch with her. I will definitely put her page.
Also, I want to add one more point here.
Please.
There is a category of professionals that is called personal finance professional. They help you investing for free. They do not charge any upfront fees from you. And I find 95% of the people don't know about it. They fear, if I go to an advisor, I have to pay some fees. Let's say I'm only saving 1,000 rupees. If I'm going to advisor, I have to pay 5,000, 10,000. So better not go.
Yeah.
I don't have that much money to pay for the advisor. So there is this category of people who are highly qualified. Most of the CFP also work in this personal finance professional category. They are the independent financial advisors. So the thing they do is they make you do the investment in regular mutual funds. So they earn a commission from their 0.5 to 1%. And it will be very low for you. It will be just not even 10 rupees a year for you, right? If you're investing with 10,000. So that much you can do. And find those professionals who can help you. And I know now there are almost, even last time some data was about 30,000 women professionals who are helping people. But still most of the people are not aware that we can take the help. You don't have to pay upfront to the people. You can just pay small fees over the and it's this profession, the beauty of the profession is, as the client is getting richer, we are getting richer.
Right. So my viewers who are watching, this topic is so interesting. We can go on and on. But those who are watching who want to know in depth, who want to know more, do connect with Shweta. She's more than happy to help you out, guide you in whatever way you want, and help you raise your money energy to another level. So, on that note, thank you, Shweta, for showing us that money is not just a tool, it's a teacher teaching us various lessons in life to raise our energy.
Thank you, Sarita, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you. My pleasure, Shweta. Thank you for the privilege of your time and your insights. And you have reminded us that how we relate to money shapes the way we live, give, and grow.
Definitely.
Every mom who are listening, you're worthy of wealth, wisdom, and well being. So, thank you, Shweta. God bless you for all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And until next time, keep raising your energy, mothers, rewriting your stories, and remember you are your child's greatest abundance lesson.
Yes.
Thank you so much. God bless.